This is WFO Radio.
Hey, what's up, Elon?
Oh, hello, Jason. This is Life's a Drag.
Life is a drag, everybody. Remember, welcome to the show. Like, subscribe, hit the button on YouTube, and subscribe. Our link to merch and at the WFO store is right there. Big shout out to WFO Joe for letting us continue this for this year.
For sure.
There was a big contract dispute. I thought we were going to have to go to arbitration, but it all worked out at the end.
It all worked out the last second. So we're back for 2026. Season's getting rolling, starting to get some mojo.
Yeah, we're not jumping ship. We're not taking our toys and going someplace else and going to a different team. We're sticking and staying with our guys.
We're staying with WFO Radio and the NHRA and drag racing and whatnot. So
yeah,
not a ton. I mean, still getting ramped up. Not a lot of race cars on the track, but let's big doings last Wednesday.
Yeah, the Vice show, huh?
Yeah, I'll jump right out there and say I thought it was pretty dang good.
I thought it was good as well. I like the just the whole setup, the way they told that little story. I think it sets up for a great, like you and I were talking before, a great arc into this season, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
I just it had a really good. I'm a big fan of Full Swing, the golf podcast. Or golf show on Netflix. And then I never really watched the Formula One show, just for whatever reason. I just didn't get into it. But, the NASCAR's had some – I liked the seeing Austin Prock at the track, seeing Austin Prock at his house. And I thought the stuff with Austin and Thomas and Jimmy was really cool. I thought, just the kind of the behind the scenes about John's crash. I felt like I saw some stuff that I hadn't seen before.
Right.
And that was, that was pretty cool. And then just the whole vibe of it, I think it's only going to get better as they introduce more people.
Yeah. Because I've said this already, I was interviewed for it. Not that any of my stuff will ever make the light of day. I don't think. I will be absolutely shocked if it does, but I think they're going to, I'm sorry. We're having technical difficulties in the Logan household. I know after watching the first one, I can kind of see where they're going to go with the storylines and stuff. So it should be very entertaining. Very entertaining from here on out.
And the way you can watch it, it'll be on again tonight, 9:00 Eastern on Vice TV. So if you have a smart TV, just find the Vice TV channel, and it'll be right there.
So that was my biggest concern because I couldn't find it. I didn't have it, and my smart TV doesn't have Vice. I had to go to the website, and if you went to the website, you probably realized that you could watch it for free. And I think I used up all of my free watches on the first show. So I'm going to have to watch it tomorrow on the YouTube channel.
Which, watching it on the YouTube channel, spectacular. No ads. Just the show.
See,
and I watched it. I have the YouTube channel on my smart TV, so it was. And the cool thing is, I feel like because YouTube and smart TVs and cookies and whatnot, as soon as I went to YouTube TV and just typed in "Chasing Speed," it just popped right up. Nice. It may have even been a suggested show for me. Okay. It was very easy to watch on the big screen. And
I think that's the way I'm going to consume this from now on, because I'm not going to pay for another subscription. Just not happening.
Yeah.
I've got way too many of them. So I'm going to be a day late and $1 short, but that's okay for this show because we go once a week and we can talk about it again.
We can talk about it. So even if we had it, but I just dug it. And so today's show, we're going to be joined by a handful of influencer guests. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
So we'll bring them on. We got a handful of them that are NHRA people that kind of follow the circuit, all that stuff. But what else? I feel like there was something else that happened in drag racing.
Stevie Fast won the World Street Nationals.
Yes. So Jason Harris had a chance to win $1 million. All he had to do was win 3 races in a row. Then he won 1 in a row.
Yeah.
Stevie Fast Jackson just does not work and play well with others.
By the way,
he's a bad man.
in the annals of nicknames, Stevie Fast's got to be up there, right?
Really good.
That's a strong. Tricky Ricky Smith.
Yes, also good.
I mean,
yeah, you know,
you got Fast Jack Beckman. That's a good one.
Fast Jack Beckman's good. You know, there's some that just naturally are just really, really good.
Yeah, I like the Stevie Fast.
But I like Stevie Fast because it just embodies everything about him. So
yeah, and you can't call him Steven Fast or Steve Fast. It's Stevie. That's the way it goes. Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, the whole U.S. Street Nationals was a bang. 70 Pro Mod cars they had at this thing.
Yeah,
for a 32-car field. It was the quickest Pro Mod field in history, which is just going to continue to happen. I mean, those guys at Drag Illustrated, Wes Buck, Victor at Bradenton, you know, I was talking to somebody about how cool that event is and how it would be awesome to try to get a 64 funny car race back up and running. But I just don't know that there's 64 funny cars that all get to the same place at one time.
Well, and I did his World Series of Pro Mod the first year he did it at Bradenton. And I was like, there's no way we're getting 68 Pro Mod cars going down this track without somebody putting it on its lid. And man, I've never seen a cleaner race in my life than
those guys
Wes put on. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And so Spencer Hyde hops in a Pro Mod car, races to the quarterfinals. Erica was down there. I mean, I think you're going to start seeing more and more pro drivers or non-Pro Mod drivers just taking a shot at it. Antron's talked about it.
Right.
Dallas Glenn, your reigning Pro Stock World Champion, got in a car. Jim Whiteley's Pro Mod car. I think it's going to be really cool to just see these guys jump over there. And also kind of buried the lead a little bit here. It was on Amazon Prime.
It was?
Yes, you could stream it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I didn't know that. What kind of secret are we trying to keep here?
Wes just slid that one right under, you know, it's a Flow Racing Amazon. I don't know how it happened, but like you could watch, I think it was at least Friday qualifying on Amazon Prime.
Huh. See, this, like, I know Courtney does a great job with Flow Racing and promoting the living you-know-what out of that. But yeah, everybody, I mean, well, not everybody, but Amazon Prime's a little more readily available than Flow.
Right.
Let me know about that. I would have definitely watched that.
I mean, it was out there. But again, the volume of information that we get or have access to, which is one of the things I want to talk to the influencers about is, you know, okay. So 180 Pro Mods, that's wild.
That is crazy.
You know,
that's nuts.
But that's a sustainable race car. You can set those things up, you know, and there's different varieties. I don't really know all about twin turbo and nitro and all that stuff, but you know, they're sustainable and they're making them safer. Like you said, they're not flipping over every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was, you know, following that, I just followed it on Facebook. I was just like, oh yeah, there we go. Stevie Fast. Erica bumps in at the last minute. Okay, let's see what goes on in the on race day. But yeah, Wes does a really good job with that with the door slammer and the Pro Mods. And he puts, I mean, if you've never been to Bradenton, it's a pain in the butt to get to from Orlando just because the traffic's so bad, but fly into Tampa, good to go. And you know, he does a really, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in such a small space.
And we talk about this a lot, you know, trying to make the race more accessible, but they have a little Savannah Banana trick it up aspect with the chip draw. So it's not a stable ladder. You know, the number one's not going to race 32. You know, the number one guy could race the number two guy in the first round if the chip draw goes down. And I'll tell you, that chip draw is pretty fun.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, those guys reach in there and then they just look at their number and then they're all, you know, they just get matched up and then they just shout out, you know, who has number one, and one guy will step forward and then like, you're like looking around to see who's this guy going to race. And they do that every round.
Yeah, that it does add for a little more excitement. I liken definitely Wes to a PT Barnum type deal.
Yeah.
I wanted to, Wes is like a televangelist out there doing his thing. Like I wanted to make a shirt that says Wes 316 on it and sell those at his merch.
We can do that.
Because you kind of go to the church when you work with Wes. You kind of go to the Church of Wes and you get excited, just like Wes gets excited, and he expects everybody to be as excited as he is, and he takes you there. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty fun.
And you just never know what you're going to, because he is going 80,000 different directions.
Yes,
and it's just he does so many things just on perpetual motion, which is with a really good team of JT and Mike Carpenter. Yeah. And those guys, I mean, it's just really pretty funny. Nancy's behind the scenes doing stuff. I have to think that Nancy on his team is just like ready to choke him out
at any point in time.
Daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's out there doing West stuff and she's like, hey, man, I'm trying to keep the train on the tracks. And all you're doing is grabbing the steering wheel and just going like this all the time. So, But yeah, so one more of those races, no chance for the Elite Million. But still an amazing concept. When that thing happens, it's going to be spectacular. But Pro Mod World Series, like that 10-day stretch, we need to figure out how to really make that 10 or 15-day stretch leading up to the Gator Nationals.
Yeah, well, this year we're doing Baby Gators after Gator Nationals, so that's a different shift.
Yeah, you could go World Series of Pro Mod, Gator Nationals, Baby Gators.
Yeah.
Banger month.
Yeah, I agree.
And NASCAR's getting ripped now because I guess their Daytona Speed Weeks really isn't like a bunch of activity every day. It's just kind of real hit or miss what they're doing, and people are all up in arms about it. Whereas here, you're getting racing every day. Just like the Stampede of Speed, you get racing every day.
See, growing up in Orlando and Daytona being right down the road, and I mean, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, it was it was Speed Weeks. That was it. And the fact if they're going to start screwing that up, I mean, you had the Bud shootouts, you had the duels, you had everything, and it's like, I mean, you definitely had a good week of racing, of racing, and then there's qualifying and there's practice for the whole month. Man, they start taking that stuff away. Yeah. Not that I'm the biggest NASCAR fan, and not that I mean, I'll go out there, and if somebody gives me tickets, I'm never paying for a ticket. But if someone gives me tickets, one year we sat right on the start-finish line, maybe 50 rows up, beautiful seats. And the seats are so small down there in the
oh, really?
In the old section. Yeah, everything on the lower, everything when they did the Daytona Rising, the big stuff on top made the seats bigger. But you have to sit sideways so you're not like on people.
On top of people.
Yeah, because your shoulders, I'm a bigger guy, but even a smaller guy. Yeah, you got to sit like this. So I'm sitting there, and I mean, absolutely beautiful seats. By the first pit stop, I was like, okay, I'm good. Yeah, I can go now. I'm good. Because it's for just 45 seconds of this.
Yeah. At least our racing, you get that for 45 minutes with all the qualifying sessions. And then you go out into the pits. Yeah, I think there's going to be some cool stuff in the pits this year. NHRA is doing. They announced a big driver 75th anniversary driver appreciation fund of like an extra $400,000. It's going to be doled out to drivers.
Did you see they added more people to the 75th list?
Yeah, Gary Scelzi, who was it? Gary Scelzi, Angel,
Jed
Coughlin Jr. Yeah, I mean
Sean Langdon.
Yeah, well, Sean Langdon. That there was one funny part I will say about Chasing Speed. I'll have to go back and watch it. Is they asked Sean Langdon a question about something in Chasing Speed, and he just kind of Sean Langdon looked at him and didn't say anything, and then they just kind of went on to something else. And I don't know, it was just very weird. But it was also very Sean Langdon of Sean Langdon does not suffer fools.
No, and for all of you people questioning that list, Sean Langdon came up through the sportsman's ranks.
Yeah.
He's a world champ, but he came up. He's won a championship on every level.
He's the only driver to win at every level.
Yeah. So those of you who feel you're not getting your due justice,
sportsman love.
Yeah, there's one guy who just came up through the whole ranks and did it.
And
hey, we got our first guest in here.
Here we go. Let's bring him on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first guest, the NitroSurveyor. There he is.
NitroSurveyor. Chris.
Can you guys hear me?
What's going on, man?
I can hear you.
Sweet. Good to see you again, Logan.
How you doing, brother?
Man. So Chris is joining us from work. He's a working man.
I'm on lunch right now, though, so I got time.
All right.
What's your lunch today?
Yeah. What do you?
I haven't decided that yet. I think there's a place next door called Clutch that makes a really awesome, what they call a clutch burger. So probably gonna go over and get that in a little bit.
All right. So Chris came into my universe through Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, and is our number one Drag Race Bracket Bonanza influencer. And I just want to, we wanted to get a bunch of influencers on to just talk about being a kind of a satellite part of the NHRA and kind of how cool is it to kind of, you get a little bit more access and what it's like when you go to races.
Absolutely. I mean, thanks to meeting with you, I had experiences that I would have never had as just a fan. So it's been pretty awesome. Gotten to get closer with drivers and teams and guys like Logan, like in Bristol. Of course, I was the one standing behind him with the Loco Zone sign. And I mean, just it's amazing. I mean, I thought the sport was fun before that, but now it is just even better.
So let me ask you this. Because now that you have different access just from being a fan, and you've gotten to kind of, do some commentary via whatever it is commentary-wise, how do you see the sport differently, or, in a good way or a bad way, now that you've gotten a little more access?
I wouldn't say there's a bad way to look at it with the access I've gotten. It's all just been, good, positive vibes from it. Like I said, again, just being able to get, closer with drivers and do videos like I did with Buddy Hull and Justin Ashley and Daniel Wilkerson. I was able to rope Tony Schumacher, the Sarge, into one as well. And like I said, and really, if it wasn't for the DRBB with Elon, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be at the track, but I wouldn't be doing what I can do and get in the media box. It definitely changes your perspective, especially when you get down there on the start line for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris, how long have you been coming to races? Because I want to get into your pin collection.
Oh, let's see. I think my mom who's watching may correct it. I'm 45 in June. They started taking me to Englishtown when I was like 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. So right around 40 years I've been doing it on and off.
And I don't know, Jason, do you remember his backpack is just covered in event pins? Yeah,
that's see, by the way, he was in Bristol, he had that sign. And it strokes my ego. I'm not gonna lie. And when I see people that like me out there, I'm like, yeah, someone likes me. Thank you. Well, so thank you for holding up the sign. Appreciate it.
It makes me happy because Chris wears the Drag Race Bracket Bonanza merch.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate the support. He's a great guy, just going out there talking to fans, explaining the game. What do you, just not to make it too Drag Race Bracket Bonanza commercialized here, but you dove into it and then you just embraced it. And kind of what about that? I mean, I feel like next to me, you're possibly one of the most passionate people about Bracket Bonanza. And sometimes I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, sometimes I think I'm kind of getting on your nerves.
No, never.
Yeah, there's really not much I wouldn't do. I enjoy just walking around and talking to people and handing out the stickers and the flyers. And one of the funniest things is most people think I work for you until I explain to them, here's my beer, I'm drinking. No, I'm not working right now. I'm just a fan like you, and you should be playing this.
The beauty of being an influencer, Jason, we need to maybe shift. Is because Chris does, and it's great because having someone like Chris just talk about it. But do you follow other motorsports too, Chris? Or are you all NHRA all the time?
Very NASCAR because my daughter's boyfriend races late model stock cars, and he's done some truck races. I follow the IHRA a little bit now that they're coming back, and pretty much just all your little basically around here. I go to a lot of the 8th mile short track. Your door slamming bracket drag racing, but pretty much mostly drag racing.
Let me ask you this: what are you looking forward to most for the 75th anniversary? I mean, we've got Elon and I keep talking about it. What's on your horizon looking forward to the most?
The return of the Southern Nationals. That's for sure. The return to Rockingham, the start of the Potomac Nationals, all three I'll be at. And as always, just the season's starting really.
Right. So you're a North Carolina guy, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So Rockingham, have you been to Rockingham in its earlier iterations when it was having other drag races?
One time I went with my father before he passed, I think like 2008 or 9, and we saw an NHRA event back when Clay Milliken was still racing in NHRA.
Okay. All right.
That was the only time I've been there.
All right, we're going to need to get some tips from Chris about where to stay. Just we're excited about all the new events, but it's like, we get so in such ruts that going to new tracks is going to be really exciting, I think.
Mm-hmm. Rockingham will be a little limited on hotels. There's only so many out there.
So we'll probably be staying like 30, 40 miles away.
Well, as long as you're not staying with the cockroaches like I did in Richmond, you'll be okay.
No.
That's awesome. So where do you think this? Like I was watching Brian Loans on the West Buck show the other day, and they were just asking him, with all over the past couple of years, with all the doom and gloom, everybody saying, "Oh, the sport's finished," blah 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 blah. And Brian was just like, he kind of got in there and he was like talking about you can't listen to everything. Where do you think this sport's going? Let me rephrase. If there was one thing you could do to make this NHRA better, what would it be from a fan's perspective?
The only thing I would really change from a fan's perspective, which really comes to my area, would be ZMAX. And I enjoy the excitement of the 4 wides, but it's run its course and a lot of fans don't come because of it. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know how you can change much more for a fan to be able to buy a ticket, walk down to the drivers, you can bullshit with them, get autographs. I mean, you can't do that in NASCAR. You can't do that in Indy. You can't do that in F1. You can't do it anywhere but here.
Right.
Yeah. So have you had, like, as NitroSurveyor, do people kind of recognize you a little bit more when you're out there now that you've got, doing videos and stuff?
At the track, yeah, but it's actually not the NitroSurveyor part. It's the pin guy part that gets me noticed. I mean, drivers, even Bob Tasca went driving by on his little scooter and like, "Hey, it's the pin guy."
Yeah.
It's things like that. Or Matt Hagen stopped me a few times. And yeah, there's people that do just out of nowhere, like, "Hey, I started following you just because I think your pin collection is awesome. Yeah. And I saw you at Bristol." I literally have people that I've met at ZMAX and Bristol are sending me pins. One guy from somewhere up in Canada sent me a pin that says Saskatchewan Drag Racing Association. I'm just like, this is just all because of the pins.
Do you have at Disney? Yeah, Disney. They have people. They do the pen trading at Disney. They have a million pens, and it is what it is. But do you ever have people say, "Hey, I like that pin. I'll trade you this pin"? Do you pin trade at all, or you just
we've done some swaps
about collecting? Yeah. Okay,
I have done that, and there's actually a few people through like eBay and other sites that I've been on, and they're like, "Hey, what do you have?" And I'll show them like what I have here, and I really want this one. Like one of them, what was it? It was a Scott Coletta pin, which is very, very hard to find. And he wanted a lot for it. A lot. So I had like 3 or 4 other ones, and he goes, "Hey, I wouldn't mind those too. Would you do a trade?" So I wound up trading him one of my extra Big Daddy Don Garlets and Cha-Cha Shirley Muldowney's, and he sent me that it's the Coletta Air maroon colored one. It was pretty cool. Actually came with a set that had Connie Coletta's first 280-mile-an-hour top fuel with it too.
Oh wow. See, that's awesome.
And when I say like my pins, I have the original NHRA logo from the 50s with the regular Roadster on it. I've got them from the 60s. My pins go way back thanks to my dad.
Nicole Clark out there. Nicole Clark, she says vintage pins. We
need to connect with Nicole Clark.
Nicole, you can find me on Instagram at NitroSurveyor.
Yes. It's at Nitro_Surveyor. So yeah, you can catch up with Chris there. Chris, did you get a chance to watch Chasing Speed? We were talking about that before you hopped on.
I did. I didn't catch it live, but I did watch it afterwards, and that's amazing. And if the series keeps going the way that one episode was, anyone who watches it who doesn't have to have appreciation for drag racing, you will get a whole new appreciation.
See, that's success right there. That's exactly what I think they were going for. Is
right.
We were talking last week before the first episode aired. We're like, hey, if you're a hardcore drag racing fan, this show may not exactly be for you.
Right.
But it's for people that don't know anything that want to kind of, let's make the tent a little bit bigger.
That's all. And I would suggest if you're watching this and you're going to watch that, you still have to go in person. For sure. The sights, the sounds, the feels, there's nothing like it. That will really explain everything for you. But then, of course, with the background of, a little bit more of everything else with the show is nice. There was a saying I heard one time my dad said, he goes, imagine all those people out there with hobbies that just found drag racing.
Right. I hope they kind of do that. They go into the sights and sounds of it, like, just regular fans, just like getting their reaction, like, just like a 2-3 minute little segment of what it really is. Cause I know I took my kid out to Bradenton last year and he was like, oh my God, this is what you do, Dad. You're standing this close. And I'm like, yeah. I go, do you like it? He goes, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I go, you want to go back? He goes, oh yeah, I'm going back.
I've got my 8-year-old twin girls that are getting closer and closer every event we go. They're getting closer and closer to it, and they love it. Just like my older girls that are now 20 that were going with me. So like you can see, it's been a family tradition forever. So I just kept it alive.
Awesome. Chris, before we cut you loose, what's your race attendance schedule looking like this year?
Well, April, I'll of course be at ZMAX. The week after that, I'll be heading down for the Southern Nationals. You'll of course catch me in Bristol again. All 3 of those will be all weekend. The Potomac Nationals, I'll be on vacation in OBX, but I'm going to come up for Friday. So I'll be there for Friday. And then, of course, you'll see me at the Rock.
All right.
So it should see 5 of them.
By the way, OBX, you don't even say Outer Banks. You say OBX.
No. If you live in North Carolina, you just say OBX.
Yeah, I love it. I love places like that.
I've never heard that. And my son is stationed at Camp Lejeune, so I'm going to start dropping that like I'm a regular guy.
You have to.
So, hey, man, Chris, thank you so much for hopping on. Everyone start following Chris on his Insta, and then we'll talk about Bracket Bonanza. We're getting some cool stuff ramped up, and we'll be in touch before all those races, Chris. And thank you so much for all the support for joining us today.
Yep, and I'll see you guys in a little over, 2.5 months at ZMAX.
Yeah, a little bit. It'll be here before we know it.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll have a whole new sign for you too, Logan.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks
brother.
so much, Chris.
All right, Chris is out of here. Let's pay some bills because we got more people coming on.
Yep, perfect.
We want to give them all the time in the world. And by the way, did you watch that Skyscraper on Netflix?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my God,
it made me too anxious.
We'll talk about it later. Hold on.
All right.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
The #1 source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring. Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF X-Fit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
By the way, Buddy Hull adds Redline to the sponsor list. Give it up for Buddy
Hull. He's a Redline guy now, which is awesome. So Mark Beatty doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Good stuff for the sport.
I love it. So that show,
Skyscraper show.
Oh my God. Let me put they would not show this live if he didn't make it, right? So he makes it.
True. Well, I mean, how do you, if it's happening live and the guy falls off the side of the building?
Right. That's the reason why you watch it. So I'm watching it. My butt is puckered until he makes it halfway up that building. And I'm going, oh, he's got this all day long. But then it re-puckered once he got up to the top, to the tower. And then he stands on top of the freaking building.
And it looked like there was a section where he's like climbing over like rings and stuff. And I was just like, no. Because I'm just thinking like,
my hands were sweaty the whole time.
And then I did see an article, which I'm going to, about how Netflix really didn't pay him that much money to do that. But he basically just did it so he could legally climb that tower. He's like, I would have done it for free. But he got a little bit of scratch for it.
Not me. All right, so our next guest is backstage. This one,
nice.
Let's give a nice little intro. Motorsports journalist and podcast host, mixing motorsports content across multiple series with the fun extras that I love. Lego builds, trading cards unboxing, reviews of all kinds, vinyl unboxing, and occasional aviation. The heart of this channel, much like myself, is motorsports, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun along the way. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for the one, the only Kyra Sage. Kyra Sage.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining. So just everyone knows you can find Kyra on Instagram, YouTube, and then she's got a blog, Kyra Sage Motorsports.
Yep.
And again, this is going to seem really self-serving. Kyra came into my universe via Drag Race Bracket Bonanza.
Shocking.
And well, this is the cool thing about Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. When I started it, I really didn't think anyone was doing it. I thought I was screaming into the void. And I ran across Kyra had done like a Twitter post or something about Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And I was immediately like, you're playing Bracket Bonanza?
I think I talked about it on my show one time, just because I had seen it and I was telling my co-host at the time, like, this is cool, we should do this. And then that's just kind of how it took off. You saw that and I was like, oh my God, someone saw this.
That's funny. Kyra, I got a question for you. Society. Yeah, I got a question. Have you ever won a week in Drag Race Bracket Bonanza?
No, I got so close to winning Indy. I came fifth, and it was a steep decline after that.
But Kyra does her own league. That's what I love is Kyra started her own league.
That's good. That's fun. So next question for you, Kyra. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be Seahawks.
All right.
I'm calling it Redemption Super Bowl because if anyone remembers 2014.
Hey, give the ball to Marshawn. Give the ball to Marshawn.
We should have just run the ball. Don't throw it on the one. You're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The only bonehead move that has now become greater than that is the Broncos not kicking that field goal to go up 10-0.
Yes.
Now the Seahawks still top of the pyramid of you got Marshawn Lynch.
I know.
What in the world are you doing throwing the ball? But what are you going to do?
Still hurts.
Right. I'm sorry. We didn't bring you on the show to cause you pain, Kyra.
You brought this on yourself, Kyra, with that sweatshirt.
I wore the sweatshirt. I knew what I was signing up for.
I'm still, even in crushing defeat, still daily repping the Steelers.
You got to do it. I mean, it's my whole personality right now.
Yeah. So, Kyra, on you're in the Northwest, but you do more than drag racing. Can you talk about your podcast and kind of how you got that up and running?
Yeah, so I have always been multi-sport, IndyCar, IMSA, a little bit of NASCAR if I'm watching it, and occasionally F1. I did an F1 league, fantasy league one year, which was very involved if people don't know. Kind of don't recommend. But growing up watching all those things, I knew I had to get involved somehow. So I became a journalist. Oh God, how many years ago now? 8 almost. Oh my gosh, almost 8 years ago. And when I got my first big girl job at Drive Tribe, working for the Top Gear trio, that was kind of everybody's intro to me, who was like, oh, it's okay to talk about more than one thing. And people like that. So once that shut down, I was like, I want to keep doing this. I want people to keep, keeping up with it. So I started my show and then subsequently my YouTube channel. And here we are, almost 200,000 views later.
So are you just, I didn't know this, and you just said 3 words that just totally get me going. Top Gear Tribe.
Oh, yeah.
What did you do for Top Gear, and which seasons, and who were your drivers and all that stuff on Top Gear?
So when they started their own, the Grand Tour after the whole BBC fiasco, they started Drive Tribe, and they were looking for writers, just anybody who wanted to write about anything. And my initial entrance was rejected because I honestly did a horrible job. I was so like, I just want to do this, so I wrote something, and it was not good. They were right to reject me the first time. So I went back a little bit later, and they were like, yeah, okay, we see the growth. And it was a really fun thing for me to be like, oh yeah, Jeremy Clarkson signs my checks.
Nice.
Because people are like, wait, really? Like, that's actually a thing? Like, we can do that? So I ended up having a couple people under me in starting their own little tribe. And I started out talking about drag racing. No one was doing it.
Sure.
It was all, there was a NASCAR tab. There was F1. People would talk about IndyCar on the American side, but not seriously. And then here comes me like, y'all want to talk about something that goes real fast? And it just became a thing where people were interested. And I was like, oh my God, yes, because that's what we need. We need more people looking at it all the time. That's how sports grow. And it was really, really fun. And I honestly do kind of miss those days. Like, my audience has grown. That part's great, but I miss the small little, having all those people around me, because now I'm like, it's just me.
Yeah. How many races do you get to come to a year covering all of this stuff?
So I don't travel. I haven't traveled a whole lot in the recent years, just, family stuff. Sure. But I love Seattle. It's my home race. I'm out there being annoying, as I like to say, talking to all my friends and doing all that stuff. So in person, Seattle's the one I have to go to, but pay attention to everything, talk about all the things.
We're working on trying to get her to Sonoma.
What about this? Kyra, you know about those?
Yes. Oh my God. You have to have it if you're there.
You don't have to tell me twice. I had 18 of them done.
Yeah, he was eating them on basically, voraciously. So one thing Kyra does, which you should definitely follow her on Instagram, and I actually used to work at Beckett Publications. I was their director of communications. She'll bust packs of trading cards, like the old school.
Oh yeah.
First of all, where are you finding your packs? And then what's your best pull or best couple pulls you've had?
Okay, so I'm an eBay girly. I will scour eBay. That is the best luck I've had. It's getting harder. In the drag racing ones, I'm up to 1995, and I'm having a struggle. They don't really exist as much as full sets in that year. So I don't know if how I'm gonna piece that together, but that would be my next one.
Eli, that's a good point. Hold on one second. The hero cards are cool, but I think you're saying like a trading card.
Yeah.
I think would be way better to pass out for the kids and all that stuff. Yeah. What do you think?
See, that is my next point, and I talk about this all the time. We need to bring them back. It's so fun, and they're not expensive to make. They're really not. And you could, look at the way people freak out about Pokemon cards.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right there. You are making fantastic points.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have a favorite card that you pulled? Are you chasing anything, Kyra?
I think the only thing that kind of bothers me is the ones that I've completed.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I'm missing are the special shiny ones.
Yeah.
Those are really hard to find. People are like $200, and I'm like, no, because I've never found them organically. But I think one of my favorite ones, my favorite packs, it was right after, the timing of this was so weird. It was after Force had his crash. I had a pack that I opened that was him and Austin Coyle, and I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, it's the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably my favorite one.
That's very cool. So, you know, the drag racing world, as a journalist that covers it, did you get a chance to watch Chasing Speed?
I did. I actually watched it yesterday because I hadn't got a chance to yet.
Okay. And your thoughts, unvarnished?
Okay. My first initial thought was that they served us a jump scare, making us all look at Matt Hagen's mustache again. It's not my favorite.
Here's the great thing about Matt Hagen's mustache skills. He could shave that off at the beginning of the show. And if that show is live, that mustache would be back in full force.
I believe you.
It is Wolverine-like. But yeah, so he had the...
I kind of thought, I mean, for me, I guess it's different for me being on this side of it than it is just like a casual fan. I understand that they have to like kind of amp up the drama a little bit.
Yep.
But I think it's at the right level. I think if you're wanting people to watch and you want people to understand the differences between your sport and others, they're doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
Perfect. That was our deal of like, we were talking that if you're a hardcore fan, it might be a little irritating, some of the stuff. But if you're trying to get people that are just watching Hunting Wives or Full Swing or whatever on that is a way to kind of bring them in. And I'm looking forward to seeing, other drivers get introduced and other drama things. And it's just, I like seeing the things like, and I did mention earlier, like Bobby Bodie on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was
good.
really,
yeah,
that was really cool.
Good too.
And I want to see more stuff like that to kind of promote the sport and stuff. So,
by the way, NitroSurveyor, you mentioned Hunting Wives. If any of our fans are out there watching Hunting Wives, I love you because that show was so good. It was so
Crazy.
good. Am I right, Kyra? I'm right.
I haven't watched it. My mom watches it. She keeps getting me. She keeps texting me, be like, "You got to watch the show."
It is. I watched Allie Bland, the NHRA PR person, turned me on to it. She got to watch this show because it is all the stuff,
everything.
I started watching it, and then my wife came home from work, and I was like, "Hey, I'm watching this show. We need to get this slotted." And this is like earlier this year, and then I stopped watching it. I think it was after like halfway through the countdown or something. I come home and my wife is like, "Oh my, I've been watching this show. It is so amazing. It's called Hunting Wives." Because I'm on the last 2 episodes. So I sat down and watched the last 2 episodes of this like murder mystery deal. So I saw the first 30 minutes of the show, and then I watched the last 2 episodes, and it's like cliffhanger and all this stuff. And there was so much going on that I was like, "What is this? Now, why is this happening? And what is it?" And my wife was just, "Shut up." And then I was like, "This is the show I told you about months ago." So you should definitely give it a watch.
It is gratuitous in every way you could possibly want it to be.
Way over the top.
I love it.
And now that I know your mom is watching it, Kyra, I definitely need to meet your mom because she sounds like my mom.
Yeah, right.
She is the whole time.
let me ask you this, Kyra. Where do you get on? See, you're not traveling. You're not like Elin and I going to every single race. Where are you gathering all of your info and all of your insider stuff for your podcast and your journalism stuff?
Oh, I have always been in the trenches. I will send emails, tweets, all those things, because getting the right information out is super important to me.
Sure.
Because we see a lot of, I think it's probably in every sport, but we see a lot of fans who try to act in a journalism role and they're just saying things. And I'm like, no, like just wait to find out what it is. Because then we have to come out and like combat the misinformation. I'm like, oh, please don't.
Yep.
It's funny. I was thinking about this yesterday. When I first started and was little baby journalist Kyra, the first team to kind of trust me and put me on their media list was Don Schumacher Racing. And I've never forgotten that. And it was, I think I was 22. And from then I was like, okay, I have to be the responsible journalist. I was never going to be the person who just said things to like sensationalize. And sometimes people tweet at me and they're like, "What do you think about this? Like, you should be saying this." I'm like, no.
Right.
I'm just going to say the information. I don't care if you think it's boring.
Right. Yeah, people like Elon and I have talked about this. Everybody trying to get the jump and get the scoop, but it's like, hey, do the right thing and report it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right. I get that. That's the fun part about the media and all that stuff these days. Because again, everybody wants a scoop. I mean, we had the scoop that Jordan Vandergriff was going to be the next driver of the Cornwell Tools car. Yeah. Guess what? We were right.
Yeah.
We didn't say it out loud though until it happened.
All right, so Kyra, what's your cadence so people can know when they can kind of? Is it best for them to just follow you on YouTube or go to your blog, or do you post on the regs, or how are you spewing out information throughout the season?
So I try to keep everything like posting on all platforms all the time. Sometimes when I'm writing things, it gets a little behind, but definitely Instagram and YouTube. Those are my top platforms for getting out all the things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, Kyra, we really, really appreciate you joining us. I really appreciate you supporting Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, and we'll have a bunch of exciting announcements around the 75th anniversary. But everybody, start following Kyra, watch her YouTube show. Thank you so much, and let's all get behind the Seahawks to beat those dirty Patriots.
It's going to be a good time. I believe in Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks so much, Kyra. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Kyra, we're going to have a scone together.
Yes, we have to.
We'll
100%. We'll film it for Instagram or something.
So good. All right. Thank you, Kyra. Kyra's out of here. Guess what? We got our next guest. He's just sitting
back to back, right on time.
He's futzing around with his camera. Give it up for Patrick Carter, a.k.a. the NHRA beer guy. There he is.
Oh, look at this guy.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
You can't hear me?
Figure it out.
Get out and figure it out.
Hang on. He can get away with that because he's handsome.
Yes.
Hello?
You got us?
Uh-oh. Can we hear you?
His earbuds may be dead. I think his earbuds may be dead.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
All right. Patrick, why don't you drop out and come back? But he can't hear us. So how do we convey that information to him? All right.
What's going on?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Elon, text him and tell him to go out and come back in and get rid of those earbuds.
All right, you keep talking.
All right, let's see what's going on in the comments. I'm removing him. Keith Coffin says she's an example of a woman becoming the big ladies of NHRA. There we go. Let's see here. We got Megan Gianni. That's my racing big sis Kyra, and this is her racing little sis Megan. Thank you guys. All right. NitroSurveyor said he says he can also help Kyra with those cards as well.
Yeah. The trading card deal is something that I've talked to Caleb Cox at Cruz Pedregon Racing about. I have talked to the NHRA about it, and I think I've talked to a couple different drivers. They may do some like mini sets because I have some ideas about making some really cool cards. Because
I think,
like Kyra said, they're not super expensive, and if you have the permissions to do them, you can crank them out. So
yeah, I think that would be cool. Listen, again, these are really cool if you want to hang them on your wall or put them in a book and get them to sign. But for kids, guess what? This is how big our lives are.
Yeah.
This phone. And if you have a card that's a little smaller, don't you think kids might want the trading cards a little better? I don't know.
I think so. All right. Is Beer Guy back?
Yeah. Monica says she's in for the trading cards. Let's see if this guy's got it together.
Hello? I can hear you now.
Oh,
there
fantastic.
we go.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Let's welcome in the NHRA Beer Guy who jumped on the scene in possibly the most unique way.
Took the world by storm.
To become a NHRA influencer. Can you take us back to that day when you just decided to just let your beer guy persona shine through?
Well, everybody thinks I was drunk that day. I wasn't. I think I'd had like 2 beers before. And I put the shirt on, and it's like, well, I bought it the day before at the Nitro Mall.
Yep. So this is an Austin Proc shirt, right?
Yeah. And I was a Stone Cold fan as a kid. So
you have to be.
And I've been messaging him on Instagram, trying to get him to respond to me. He won't do anything. So if anybody knows Stone Cold, let him know.
Yeah.
But anyway, now I went seeing Jason Logan. I was like, hey, when Austin comes up, can you think you can get a camera over here on me? And you told me to go talk to the camera guy.
Right.
Like,
you were standing right behind Jared, our gym guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went and talked to him, and he was like, hold on, let me ask. And he asked, and he was like, absolutely. We'll do it. And we screwed up, and it was in Jack Beckman's, but I don't know. I had the shirt, and I was a Stone Cold fan, so I was like, let's do it. And I didn't think it would. I thought it would be cool in the moment, and I thought somebody'd see it and be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But then it's like overnight, and then we were riding around our scooters in the campground, and I told my wife my phone went off, and it was I think it was the NHRA had sent me a message and was like, hey, we'd love to have you in the burnout box, and Austin had commented on it, and I'm like, all right. I was like, we're going to be up on top of this tomorrow.
Yeah.
She's like, no way. She's like, it's not true. And then everything transpired, and then met Nikki and Allie, and I don't know. I think it's stupidity.
To me, it is you're the perfect example of being yourself and that just kind of becoming a thing. Yeah. And then, like you said, you kind of took control of it, and you go to races, and you got a little bit of a bit, and I think it makes the sport better. And that's
Well, it's like you go to the baseball games and hockey games, and you see the hot girl up there with a full beer, and she just slams it like that. The place goes nuts. Our fans, we got the beer guy. He's going to stone cold 2 beers. He might not be a hot 10 chick up in the stands, but guess what? He's our guy.
He's our people.
He's our people, and we will embrace him.
So how do you feel, beer guy, about the move of Austin Prock to Tasca Racing? Do you care who he's racing for?
So I don't really care. I mean, he's my guy. He, I don't know. He's a beer drinker. He likes to smoke a cigarette every now and then. And he's just my type of guy. Like, and he knows what he's working on.
Yeah.
And, he's working on it. I'm sure he's hands-on everything with the guys. That means a lot, because you got a lot. I'm sure there's some of the guys, I don't know, everybody knows a little bit about their cars, but he's locked in. I hated to see him leave John Force. I was a John Force guy, and I still am. I like Jack Beckman. Me and him, he probably won't want me to say it, but me and him split a little bit of a bottle of Jack Daniel's honey when we were at Charlotte for the second race.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
dude,
no,
hold on. Have you seen that social media clip where the guy goes, I'll have a toot every once in a while, maybe a little snort, a little coke, and maybe a little weed, all that stuff. That's he's just throwing people out. He'll smoke a little bit. We'll do a little Jack Daniel's honey out.
Yeah. This is so fantastic. But so, beer guy, what do you do if you, without getting too much, disclose as much as you want, but what do you do when you're not beer guy?
When I'm not beer guy, I don't know. I just work on people's shit boxes, if I can say that.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like we got a guy at the house right now. I got to go put brakes on a rollback when I get home from work. I work at a paper plant, so whatever you wipe your butt with is what I produce over here.
Oh, nice. And then you're working on cars in your spare time.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just I've always been around cars and stuff like that. We demolition derby.
Really? Okay. Now you've piqued my interest. Do you have your own demolition derby car?
Yeah. I've had a few of them. There's a 76 Delta 88 sitting in the shed that I went nose to nose with a Lincoln Continental, and it just straight up in there. I could see the inside of the headers.
Oh man.
When I got done. But I don't know, just your basic redneck.
My favorite are watching some of his videos on like YouTube or like that social media stuff. He's got some of those, just banged up cars, and all of a sudden here comes a drag race bracket bonanza logo on the side, and he just stops and looks at you like Burt Reynolds and takes off down the road.
Yeah, well,
so great. Those are hilarious. I can't
thank you enough for the bracket bonanza support, and you did something that took bracket bonanza to the next level with your bracket inside the bracket.
Yeah.
How much fun was that? And did you quickly realize kind of what a pain in the ass it is to run brackets?
It's a lot. It didn't help me. My wife's mother, she got sick, so I was trying to take care of the house. I was trying to take care of everything else, and then down right there towards the end, and then we got to Pomona, and I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah,
I'm like,
we all had that discussion.
Yeah, and so if Opie is watching, he needs to respond to the email that I sent him.
Okay, Opie, get on this.
Yeah. So
we run into that too, beer guy. Because we'll send emails to people like, "Hey, you won," and then we never hear from them. We finally had to put in a deadline because the first year we didn't have a deadline. I had an Erica Enders plaque in my house for 6 months because I didn't want to give it away because we hadn't said, "Here's the deadline," and then literally 6 months later, the guy finally responded.
Speaking of Erica Enders, if you got a way to make it happen, I want to drink a beer with her. If she drinks beer,
we can make that happen all day long.
I bet we can make that happen. Because it'd probably have to be outlaw beer. Are you okay with that?
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because
I'm a Spencer Hyde guy too, so we're good.
All right, good. All right.
Yeah.
So what races are you going to try to go to in 2026, beer guy?
Well, so we have a dilemma. I have my tickets in camping for Charlotte, but our due date is April 30th. So yeah, we're having a little baby beer guy. I'll have a beer assistant like Richard Rollins now. So
now, is this your first baby, second baby?
Yeah, it's our first one.
Oh, congratulations!
Yep, thank you.
Nice.
So
that is exciting.
Yeah, the beer assistant's good. I have 4 boys, and when they were little, we have a beer fridge in the garage. I'm like, yeah, go get the blue one, go get the silver one. That's how they learn their colors.
Okay, so Charlotte is a maybe.
Yep. The wife said that she would go, but we've got to figure something out because I guess pregnant women aren't supposed to be around loud noises or something.
Yeah, that's probably I would.
Yeah, we were contemplating Gainesville, and she was like, she's like, I'm not really supposed to be around them. She's like, but if we can figure out a way, I can get. She's like, if we can get somewhere where I don't hear it, we're good. And I'm like, I don't know what we would do there.
That's kind of like the hotel. That's not a really good option.
Yeah, no. So probably I'm hoping Bristol.
Okay.
And her parents, her parents live in on the other side of Rockingham in Selma.
Okay.
So we're going to try to go to. I'm waiting on them to call me about the camping for Rockingham.
All right.
But as soon as that comes through, we'll go to Rockingham, and then depending on how the baby stuff goes, if everything's good with him, maybe we can slip to another. Mom and Dad can have a weekend and go do their thing.
Well, that'll be awesome.
But,
so
just don't bring a brand new newborn out to the track.
Yeah, don't bring a brand new baby to the racetrack. That's not. We see that, and that's. Did you get a chance to? We've asked a couple other people. Did you get a chance to watch Chasing Speed?
Yeah, so I'm like halfway, or no, probably 3/4 of the way through the first episode. I didn't get to watch it live, so but everything I saw from the beginning was awesome. So
how, and I don't have any inside information, but how insane will you go if you show up in Chasing Speed?
I thought I was, wasn't I?
Were you in it?
I think when they introduced Austin, because Allie sent me a message and was like, "Hey, you're in it."
Okay, I may have missed that. I may have to go back and
watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
that's very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back because to me, your whole, just the way the whole thing evolved, it is just fascinates me because that's like that's what's so great about our sport is, and the fact that you had the ability to go up and talk to Jared is really.
Dude, he is cool and awesome at the same time.
He is.
Yeah, if anybody out there, if you get the attention of Nikki or Allie or Josh or Kurt on the social media team, they'll make you a star like the beer guy right here. That's what they'll do.
And we need bits, and we need guys like that. So I didn't ask anybody else this, but obviously, do you think will Austin go 3 in a row?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, most of his teams over there. I think all of like one or two. I talked to Bobby on the constant. I don't know if y'all do it, but we send like little reels to each other all the time.
Right.
And so me and Bobby Lane, one of his guys, was talking, and he's like, everybody's over here but a couple of them. And I know Nacho went over there from Brittany's car.
Right.
So I don't think they'll have any problems. They'll probably a few road bumps maybe to start the season, but I think once you get to probably about Charlotte and in April, I think you'll start seeing them just hit their stride again like they have.
Let me ask you this question real quick. I before we get going through here, and you're a true fan, and you came up with a bit of smashing beers and you're doing the whole Stone Cold thing. What's it like now from being a fan to kind of having like unfettered access to your hero, Austin Prock, and all these drag racers? I mean, everybody gets starstruck. How do you ask like just dumb questions like, hey man, tell me what you did? Yeah, like we do. Or do you just like play it cool? You're just like, hey man, you want to have a beer? Maybe have a little cigarette? What's going on?
I don't know. I always feel like, I still feel like a fan.
Yeah.
I still, and I still am, but I don't know. I get awkward around them. I still don't want to be like, oh my God, here's this aggravate again. Here's this guy. But, it's cool to have friends like Spencer will message me from time to time, and that's pretty cool. And then Bobby, but I don't know. I just try to make sure, because I worked in NASCAR for 3 years before I transitioned over here, and so I worked around Richard Petty, and I was around Dale Jr. and all them, and it's like, all right, you kind of knew how to act around them,
right?
But it still makes you a little nervous because you never know if somebody's having one of those days. So.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Listen, I still don't talk to John Force. I don't engage with him. I'm like, I just pass him. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day. Well, hey,
when I was in his pit the other day for the Charlotte 2 race, he walked over and was watching everybody on Austin's. And I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
And then just walked.
Perfect.
But,
I love it, man.
All right. Well, hey, Patrick, thanks so much for joining us. Everyone watching, you can follow him on Instagram at NHRA_beer guy. Looking forward to seeing you, and good luck with the baby.
Thank you. Is there any parenting advice you can give me since it's a boy?
Yes. I will tell you, never miss the opportunity to take a nap. There's no shame in napping for the next 2.5 years. Anytime you want to nap, your wife wants to nap, don't worry about emptying the dishwasher. Don't worry about mowing the yard. If there's a chance to nap, take it.
My advice to you is create a schedule and make sure that kid's asleep by 7 o'clock at night every night, no matter how long they cry, whatever you can do, so you and your wife can still be together and have some quality time before you are exhausted by 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
I will say that the hardest part was kind of once they put the baby down, they will kind of cry themselves to sleep.
Yes.
But I will also say that when they are kind of the Sunday afternoon laying on your couch with your son or daughter on your chest, falling asleep to the silky smooth tones of Jim Nantz on Golf TV, really nothing better. And then here also pro tip, Patrick, if you can get on that couch with your baby on top of you, that is also kind of a free pass to do nothing, because you're kind of like, hey, I would love to help out, but I got this baby on me, and I know it only weighs like 10 pounds, but I physically can't move right now. I'm paralyzed.
Yeah. Also, if it's a boy, definitely never be afraid of a throat punch, and make sure they know you're willing to deliver. Whoop out! Shut up in the grocery store.
Always be prepared when you're changing the diaper with the towel.
Yes.
Because as soon as you expose that little monster to air, it will just start shooting pee at you.
We can go all day with these.
I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah,
about
and trust me, you will get pee in your mouth. I hate to say
it happens.
But just prepare yourself. And it's terrible, but again, you learn pretty quick. But just when you're always have that towel there, so bam, diaper comes off, towel goes over. It's all right. We should probably do a parenting podcast now, Jason.
Oh my God, dude!
Let's dropping all the truth. So, all right. Well,
perfect.
Hey, beer guy Patrick, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, weekend.
Thank you,
and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you at the races.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good to see y'all then.
Thanks, man.
Have a great day. Oh, what a dude! That guy had me
so great.
Oh, I love it. And like you said, just the way he entered the scene was just perfect. It was because he came up, he goes, "Hey man, can I get?" I'm like, I don't have control over that, but I go, if you go down there and talk to Jared, I go, he can get you on there, and he'll love it. That was awesome.
And this is also kudos to Nikki and her team for like embracing, like, hey, this guy's got a little something. It adds a little something to the event. Everybody has, there's guys that dance at every Lakers game. There's guys in the ground, and you see them on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. But just the fact that our fans are that passionate and can kind of build those little relationships with the drivers, and can then go and have a drink or a cigarette with, is just
that's what's great, because like we've always said it, and we've talked about how to act around these guys. I mean, listen, if yourself and you show a little interest in what they're doing, they're more than happy to bring you inside the ropes and show you what's going on. And then, like, hey man, you want to grab a beer? Grab me one while you're, I got to finish this up. And then you're part of the team.
And the key is just simply situational awareness.
Correct.
If they just lost, don't go bebopping over there.
Right.
Hey, tough break, get out of there. But if they're in a good mood, you go hang around and just kind of read the room. That's the main thing, is read the room and just be yourself.
Joe just texted earlier. Yeah. Beer guys in Chasing Speed.
Yeah.
So that's confirmed. Thank you, Joe.
Right,
I love it. I think this is a good show today. What are we talking about?
So please, Kyra Sage Motorsports, NitroSurveyor, NHRA Beer Guy. These are the personalities. And Jason and I have talked about this. That was the kind of the whole gist of the show, is every sport needs these satellite people, like podcasts, like our podcast, and Power Hour, and the Wes Buck Show, and WFO Radio. But having fans creating content also helps the growth of the sport, I think.
Yeah, Michaela's out there. She's like, she's yelling at me too. Yeah. And I'm like, Michaela, why are you yelling at me like this? She says, he goes, when we were talking about the cards and stuff, she's like, why can't we have both? Of course we want to have both. We just want some smaller ones.
And, and there's a whole fistful of people. Michaela's out there doing stuff. We see her at the races. So I love seeing all these fans continuing to promote the sport and just getting better and better at promoting the sport.
Look at even Monica gets out there. She's promoting us. She's out there, posting stuff. Listen, thank you guys for all your, all our fans. I know we kind of get on your case every once in a while and tell you not to, go off the deep end about TV shows and stuff like that. But we mean it. We just want you to be better fans with us. Just we want everybody. And
let's keep making the tent bigger. Let's get follow these guys, interact with them. I tell people all the time, if you're a huge fan, hey, start a podcast, write a blog, because just like Kyra said, teams will give you a chance to do some good stuff. They'll give you some access. So.
Yeah, and don't go at them right away, or else you won't get access.
Right.
I mean, build some rapport first, and then hammer them if you're not happy with stuff.
All right. Chasing Speed tonight on Vice, if you have it, 9:00 Eastern.
Yes.
On YouTube tomorrow.
Which that's where I'll be taking it. By the way, how are we doing weather-wise? Are you staying warm?
Totally frozen down here. My neighborhood's still a complete sheet of ice. I got out today just because I had to make a Diet Coke run. And then my neighborhood is trash, but once you got on the main streets, it wasn't too bad.
Okay. Yeah. This morning it was 37 degrees here in Orlando.
Yeah. Florida. So it's just now today finally got above freezing. What hasn't been above freezing since like Saturday morning.
Yeah. So we're getting down.
That's been the problem.
It's going to be 30 degrees on Saturday or Sunday. And I have
you guys going to shut the state down? Is Florida just going to be closed when that happens?
I mean, listen, there's no snow, but we're all trying to find jackets and stuff. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. So we just don't have in Texas, for the most part, the street clearing devices. They have some trucks with the blades on them.
Right.
But we don't have like a mountain of de-icing salt or whatever they have. So it just takes a while. Like right now, it's above freezing, so stuff is melting, which is good.
Yeah, Monica is 17 degrees. Let's see what else we got here. Justin, he's been stuck all week. Neighborhood and snow. Man,
I was in Denver visiting my aunt over the weekend. It took us a little while. Oh yeah, that's too cold. Took us a while to get back Sunday and a Monday, but I'm so glad we did something, because if I would have been stuck in my house from Saturday until yesterday, all right, Pitts podcast, I love it. That's California for you, but enjoy your earthquakes and mudslides.
Right. Yeah, man.
Everybody's got something.
We've got hurricanes, and the hurricane. I mean, you better stock up before, and as long as you don't lose power, we're open the next day. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
as long as the Waffle House doesn't close.
Yeah, that's the thing exactly. When the Waffle Houses start closing, you need to get your S together.
Yep,
because that's a real thing.
A huge thing. All right, let's go home.
Let's go home. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Kyra. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Patrick, for joining the show.
Yep.
And Jason, thank you for being a great co-host. I appreciate you.
You know what? Thank you for being a friend.
Yes.
Man, I'd travel down the road and back again to hang out with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same. All right, next Wednesday. Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it'll be something awesome.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the upcoming Super Bowl.
We'll talk about upcoming Super Bowl, and we'll talk about chasing speed.
Yep.
And whatever else is going on.
Hunting wives. Let's break it down.
Yeah, break that down.
Episode. That's going to be awesome. See you guys next week. Thank you.
This is WFO Radio.